Hello and welcome to NewsClick. Today we'll be covering the events in Egypt post departure of Hosni Mubarak. We have with us one of the leading left activists in Egypt, Mamdouh Habashi, who's been active on this issue for the last 40 years. Mamdouh, good to have you with us.
Yes.
Mamdouh, Egypt is of course being watched right across the world. At the moment it has really seized the imagination of the people. It has sparked off a lot of other similar movements in the Arab world. Question is, do you think it is the start of a revolution, or do you think the revolution is over in Egypt?
No, for sure not. The long way has just started. I think we have achieved quite a big step in the long way, but none of the demands of the revolution has been really achieved, but stepping out of Mubarak, which is symbolically a very important step. But the demands, which will start by the democratization and the liberalization of the life in Egypt after a long period of dictatorship, and accordingly achieving the social progress that led to all this unrest.
Two important issues seem to have been already conceded by the military regime. One is the dissolution of the parliament, which was elected last year.
Yes, but the parliament it was a fraud parliament from the very beginning. Everybody.
That's right.
Another demand that has also been conceded is the suspension of the constitution. So these are two demands that have been conceded. I think the demand which has not yet been conceded is that the transitional government should have representation beyond the military, right?
Not only military, but also the same persons of the old regime.
Old regime.
It's not only military, but still. So the prime minister himself was a minister in the last government of Mubarak.
Right.
He was the minister of the civil aviation, and he is a military guy, and he came from the Air Force, an old friend of Mubarak, and all of the other ministers are from the old regime. So even after achieving all that, we still have the martial law, the law of emergency, under which we have been living now since the first day of Mubarak getting into power, and we still have a big package of laws that have been put by Sadat starting, and they are limiting the freedoms and the democracy in any country. And the last important issue is the constitution, because the revolution wants a new constitution.
three major issues, right? One is changing of the constitution to have a parliamentary system and not a presidential one. The second is the interim regime should not be composed of discredited figures of the Mubarak regime. And third is, of course, lifting of the emergency. These are the three demands which are yet unfulfilled at the moment. Right, Mamdouh?
Yes, and when the people said on the street, we want to a regime change, that means not only ministers, because the regime the symbols of the regime, those who have been always collaborating with the regime, from the National Democratic Party, the party of Mubarak, they have been put in every institutions of the country, like the media, like the police, like the municipalities, everywhere. So those people have to leave now. All of them have to leave now. And this is now the issue in all factories, all the government, in all media, everywhere. The people are not satisfied with the results that have been achieved.
So, Mamdouh, the important question is, how do you really see the next 6 months process unfolding? Do you see this as a top-down replacement of the discredited figures who still are there continuing? Do you see the movement replacing these figures? How do you look at the political parties which have now to work out their equations in the new democratic setup and the parliament? So, how do you really see the next 6 months playing out?
I think we are now beginning a new era in which everybody is now trying to form a political platform for itself. So, quite a number of new political parties will be registered soon, and a number of independent unions, labor unions and professional unions, and all these kinds of new ways of a new stage of organization of the people. They know now they have to transfer these kinds of organization from the software into hardware. That's always have been said. Because the revolution started by organization of the people only on the cyberspace. Now, that was the only communication possible. Now they have to move into organization of the people everywhere to be able to raise this pressure until they achieve these demands. And this is, I think, a long process. For sure, the next 6 months will be very intensive. But I don't think that the next 6 months are enough to achieve all what we have been asking for. No? So, the democratization, accountability of all levels of the state, and the sentencing of all the responsibles for the killing on the streets and the corruption during the last 40 years and the escaped money, huge amount of fortunes have been smuggled out of the country and so on. All these are demands that are agreed upon from everybody, and not only left. I mean,
Mamdouh, there is. Yeah,
and
go ahead.
last but not least, we have since the last week a series of demonstrations and strikes all over the country, in factories, in farmers, and so asking for their raising wages and liberating their factories from the symbols of the old regime and so on. These are now running.
Unlike Ben Ali's departure from Tunisia, after which a lot of the regime figures changed, the party which Ben Ali headed was dissolved. Corresponding to that, Egypt's old regime still continues. The NDP, the National Democratic Party of Mubarak, still seems to be there. Do you think this poses a long-term threat to the revolution, given the fact that the army was very closely associated with the old regime?
Yes, I think that all the symbols of the old regime, we call it now the counter-revolution, are just But achieving this in the next period will be only through the new kind of organizational level. We all know that the revolution did not achieve its demands and goals until today, but this is a long process. Also, the army now is not very homogeneous. We have different levels. We have the highest leadership of the army, the elite. They are trying now to keep as much as possible from the old structures and not to open all files at once. But there is also other streams within the army.
Mamdouh, the whole world is now looking to Egypt, and I'm sure in West Asia, North Africa, people are going to draw their inspiration from Egypt. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch and we'll discuss these issues as it develops. Thank you.